This is a video response to a poor attempt SDA I made at trying to discredit me in a video that I made called Response to the Roman Catholic Church Part 1, No Doubt 257, Part 1. Now, why do I say that SDA II is being dishonest in what he is representing? Once he puts the SDA twist on his video, then he can get the people at SDA to believe him somewhat. And that's the crowd he's playing to, the Seventh-day Adventist. He'll never convince anybody that he's not being dishonest here. But anyway, here's what he says in his video. He is very dishonest because he attempts to misrepresent me by saying, I say that the Catholic national quote in question does not exist. Well, if you look at my video, you'll see that is not the statement I made. What I said in my video was that the quote does not exist in the Catholic National of July of 1895 because the citation itself does not exist. Never said one thing about the quote not existing. Again, when you got to add your SDA twist on it so they can sound a little believable. And the second dishonest thing SDA says in his video is, he's talking about, well, if you don't believe me, go look at one of your own writings, and he mentions evangelical Christendom. Well, again, he's being a little dishonest in what he's saying, because evangelical Christendom is not a writing of the Catholic Church. Pure and simple. It's not a document, a writing, or anything of the Catholic Church. So he's already lied twice. I guess he's thought he's told enough lies. So what he wants to do is, now, if you don't believe me, go over here and look at this other video. And he lists a link to a video that leads to a YouTube user by the name of Nomad Warrior 2007. So here's one Seventh-day Adventist member. So if you don't believe me, go look at another Seventh-day Adventist member. He'll tell you the truth. And once I get over there, I found out that all Nomad Warrior does is use the work of a Michael Schaeffler, who is also a Seventh-day Adventist. So here's one Seventh-day Adventist leading me to another Seventh-day Adventist, who leads to another Seventh-day Adventist, and all of them wanting to point me to the truth. You know, that's kind of like Doug Batchelor saying something. Well, if you don't believe me, ask Walter Veith. Now, before getting into the real heart of this video, let me say this. And before getting into the work that Nomad Warrior used, which is Michael Schaeffler's work. First of all, neither Nomad Warrior 2007 or SDA II has read any of this material. They have not put their eyes on this material and read it. Again, that's very dishonest in itself. If you're going to do a work, why don't you go look at it yourself? And that way you can see it exists. All you're doing is using the work of somebody else who said they saw that it existed. So make it plain and clear. Neither Nomad Warrior 2007 or SDA II has seen any of this material at all. And so you got one Seventh-day Adventist sending it to another Seventh-day Adventist member who uses the work of another Seventh-day Adventist member. Again, that's like Doug Batchelor said, if you don't believe me, go listen to Walter Veith. So let's get into Michael Schaeffler's work now that is used by Nomad Warrior. Now, Michael Schaeffler is at BibleLight.net. And one of the pages he has is what he calls source document, and I'll show you a picture of that. And you'll see on here, you'll see in these sources he has title, he has the title, and up under there he'll have a few page numbers that you can go see. So I said, well, let me click on one of them, on one of these title pages, and see if it has the right material on it. So I clicked on one of the title pages, and sure enough, here it has the right material on it: the author, the date, the publisher, and all this, anything that a title page should have on it. I mean, this is what a title page has on it. Something where you can look at it, see who published it, see who wrote it, see the year written in, and so forth. And that way, you can go find it yourself if it can be found at all. So now then, so I said, well, let me look down here for Evangelical Christendom and see what I see. So I go down to Evangelical Christendom, and there's the index and title page with 2 page numbers under it. So I said, well, finally, I'm gonna get to see where this is printed at and so forth. So I click on the title page, and here's what I find: Evangelical Christendom. No volume number, no date number, no name number, nothing. Now, why would he take the time to show the title pages that were accurate on others, But yet when he gets to one that he should have shown the title page on, where people would know that it's not a hoax, know that it was not a fabrication, he doesn't show the title page on it. All he shows is evangelical Christendom. Now, if he says he's read this, now he's read the title page, why didn't he get a copy of the title page as well, so he could show people the volume number, the year it was quoted, the publisher, and all this? Why didn't he get that when he got it for the others as well? Something very dishonest going on there when he all of a sudden showed the title page to these others, got all the information on it, but he gets to the one that's really in question, and the title page doesn't have the necessary information to trace it down on. Well, if you noticed, he also had down there, right after page 15 under here, click here to see this in context. I said, well, maybe he's got it here since he's going to allow me to see it in context. Now, if you're going to look at something in the context of what it was, in the way it was said and how it was said, you're going to look in the article itself, in the magazine itself, to see the context of it. But when you click on the context page, it sends you to something totally different. Again, that is so dishonest. Where do these people even sleep at night? If you've got the page in front of you, Schaefer, why didn't you lead us to the article itself, instead of carrying us to some other page that doesn't have anything to do with the article other than quoting it again? Very dishonest, as far as I'm concerned. Here's the context it was said in right here, and carried to something totally different than evangelical Christendom, so to speak. Again, very dishonest in what he's saying. Now then, let me show you the quote that No Doubt made in their video about the Pope saying he was Jesus in the flesh. Any Catholic knows that if a Pope had ever made this, or a Cardinal had ever made this statement, they would have an opportunity to recant and to renounce that statement, or they would be out of the Catholic Church. Any Catholic would know that. So that's one reason you know that there's a hoax to begin with, because if any Cardinal had ever said that, or if any Pope had ever said that, they would be out of the Catholic Church if they did not recant it and totally renounce it. So I found another article under Church Review, and I'm going to put it up here, and where they were arguing about this, back and forth, and the man said, yeah, I read out of Catholic National, but I couldn't tell you where it came from either, that is Catholic National, because he couldn't tell us where it comes from because it doesn't exist. And he goes on to say, and here's what happens. Cardinal Sarto gets called in on the carpet on this, because the Catholic priest knows this man can't be making these type of mistakes. He can't be making these type of quotes, or he's out of the Catholic Church. So he's called into question, and he has to produce the homily in which he was supposed to have made this quote. And you can see this on numerous Catholic websites, and here in this article itself, where Cardinal Sartos had to produce a homily, and all he is saying in there is that the Pope is a representative of Jesus Christ. He says nothing whatsoever in there about it being Jesus Christ veiled in the flesh. Hoax. And if you'll go back and look at the quote supposedly taken out of the Catholic National, you won't find a publisher, a volume, or nothing on it. All it is the quote in Catholic National, July of 1895. Nothing on there that will lead you to find that document anywhere. Which, again, and the reason it's not there is because it doesn't exist. But here's the dishonest thing about it to me, is that not only Rushdie saying it now, not only the Nomad said it, not only was Schaefer saying it, but at least 7 other Seventh-day Adventist ministries that I found use this same quote. They cite it the same way. And when anyone takes a citation like that and gives that citation that way, they're saying they read that and this is where I found. Again, dishonest, very dishonest. But what did I expect from a Seventh-day Adventist member? I'll leave you with something that some people might find a little irony in. A quote from Abraham Lincoln when he said, you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all of the time. Until next time, this has been Godly Saying. God bless.